My guess is most of you guys are from the U.S. and may think about Powerade as kind of that small Me Too player versus Gatorade. Well, like I said, that's not the case outside the U.S. The situation is very different. If you look at Powerade, Powerade has actually been around for a while. It was introduced in 1992 for the Barcelona Olympics. It expanded into many countries in the late 90s, early 2000s, and basically now is in 80 markets around the world. If you look at our recent performance, Coca-Cola is the #1 sports drinks company outside of North America. And if you look at our recent volume performance and share growth, we are the fastest growing sports drinks brand globally, faster than Gatorade. And last but not least, Powerade is one of Coca-Cola's 14-plus billion-dollar brands, so it's a key contributor to our overall business performance. Now that you've got the background, let me tell you a little bit of where we started 2 years ago, because the situation on Powerade is we had this great brand, but it was being managed out of different markets, and with this had different approaches to how they talk to the consumer. In U.S., probably you may have seen the focus on our Ion 4 formula, which is the complete sports drink, being advertised. In Mexico, we've got a very different message about enjoying more, playing more, and you can see our package and visual identity looks quite different. Another example is Australia, where we are the #1 sports drink in that market, and this whole focus on, we help you reach your goals message. So I want to show you 4 ads to demonstrate where the different markets were coming from. So let me play those for you.
Okay, once more round. Beat this poser.
9K to go.
Make the team.
Keep running.
Make it home. Is that Israel Folau? Catch up. Grand final. Grand final.
Powerade Isotonic. Perform at your peak for longer. Powerade. The power to reach your goal.
Introducing Powerade Ion 4, complete with 4 electrolytes lost in sweat. Powerade Ion 4, the complete sports drink.
Powerade contains essential nutrients to provide fast and effective hydration. Powerade in a gear. Sports kit for your insides.
Descubre el nuevo Powerade Citric Reaction y disfruta jugar naturalmente. Nuevo Powerade Citric Reaction en deliciosos sabores con jugo en naranja y limón. Powerade, disfrutando logras más.
So you can see, different approaches in the different markets. Well, 2008, with the economic challenges we were facing, we knew we needed to figure out a way that we could get more scale, more consistency, more synergy on this business, especially in light of the fact that, everywhere Powerade was connected to 2 huge sports properties, the Olympics and FIFA World Cup. So this whole idea of bringing together and having a more cohesive and consistent voice was imperative for the business. At Coca-Cola, we have an internal kind of structure to define our brand positioning. We call it our brand house. The bottom foundation being what are we trying to achieve, our brand goal, and then the different walls being kind of key areas we need to focus on, and the roof being the overall global vision for the brand. Now, this is an internal way of thinking about it that we use to drive different positioning expressions. Well, so we started our journey to identify this global positioning for Powerade because we wanted to make Powerade a truly global brand, not a brand just available globally. So we started this process, and what we found, it was actually easy in terms of the foundation and the consumer core target. Foundation, the brand goal, everybody wanted to continue the momentum of growth we had on the brand, to continue to increase share, to continue to increase volume. So that was all very easy to align. This core consumer target, everybody agreed. We needed to increase our reach, our penetration, as well as increase among our current users those usage occasions during that sporting event. So we were aligned there. But in looking at this core target, we wanted to dig deeper. Who is this person? What are they all about? And what we found, which was very interesting, is when we started working with all the different markets and all the different research that they had done, that we had this definition of this core sportsman that was extremely consistent across the market. We call them the true sportsmen. These guys, they tended to be male, they tended to be younger, they were totally passionate about their sports. They basically said sports was just a way of life for them. They typically were playing on teams, and that whole social aspect of playing on the team, again, very important for them. They thrive on the competition. And these are the guys who are not only playing more sports more often for longer, these are the guys that are drinking the sports drinks. So we had a core consumer definition, a segment we were going after that was consistent across market. So we had a brand goal, we had this target that we really felt like we understood. So now the challenge was, how do we talk to them more consistently? But the challenge is, these the brand in the different markets, the positionings they were using locally was performing very well. How do we find a global way of talking about the brand that would perform as well or even better than what they were currently doing? So we set out to say, okay, how do we do this? We know, how do we convince these people to move to one positioning? How do we convince these guys to change in the different markets and align on one process? Well, we knew to do that, we had to have a really strong case to say, this will help your business. We knew we had to be more quantitative in nature. Anecdotal information was not going to win an argument. When you had somebody from the local markets feeling very strongly about where they were. We also knew that the first time out, we probably aren't going to get this positioning right. So we needed to have a way we could learn and adapt and improve the way we talked about the brand as we progressed. So given this challenge, we turned to Millward Brown to help us out, and I'm going to let Neil Mathis come up now and talk about the phase 1 research we did.
Thanks, Ann. So, in working with Ann and her team at the Coca-Cola Company, we developed a 2-stage process, and I'll talk about the first stage of this process. And the first stage was really creating a social network that stretched across multiple markets. And within that social network, we recruited sports active consumers. And the goal of this was to really get their perceptions of the concepts that we that we put into here. And the concepts ranged all over the board. Some of them were within the local markets, and some of them were just sort of created from scratch. And we really just wanted to get their feel for how they felt about it. And at the end, the social network, the feedback that we got from that gave us some really incredible insights and allowed us to really just optimize and craft the concepts and just speak in a direction that spoke directly to those consumers' needs. And at the same time, as going through the social networking site, not only did we ask them for their feedback to tell us what they thought, we also asked them to show us what they thought. We gave them the ability to upload pictures, videos, to post links, to post YouTube videos. And if a picture is worth 1,000 words, this exercise was probably worth about 1 billion. Consumers uploaded hundreds of videos, hundreds of pictures for us to pour through. And in doing this, what we really found was that to the core consumers, at the end of the day, when you get down to why they play sports, why they interact, it's about the activity itself. It's about the moment within the sports. It's a lot of consistency that we had seen before with the segmentation work that Ann spoke to.